Gani Fawehinmi, a name that echoes through Nigeria's history like thunder. A lawyer, a fighter, a voice for the voiceless. For decades, he stood against injustice, corruption, and oppression. But in his final years, Gani faced a different kind of battle, one that had nothing to do with politics or the courtroom. It was a battle for his life. This is the story of how one of Nigeria's greatest heroes was failed, not by the people, not by the law, but by the very system he fought to improve. That is the health care system. Gani Fawehinmi was born in 1938 in Ondo State, Nigeria. From a young age, he was known for his sharp mind and fearless spirit. He studied law in the United Kingdom and returned to Nigeria, determined to use his knowledge to fight for justice. He became famous for taking on cases that others were too afraid to touch. He defended students, journalists, and political prisoners. He challenged military rulers and corrupt politicians. He was arrested, detained, and harassed, but he never backed down. People called him the people's lawyer, and he earned that title every single day. In early 2007, Gani began to feel unwell. He had always been strong despite dealing with high blood pressure and heart issues, but this time something felt different. After delivering a powerful speech at the annual Fawehinmi program on January 15, he returned home feeling exhausted. The pain in his chest was sharp. Breathing became difficult. He called his doctor. The diagnosis: pneumonia. Doctors gave him antibiotics and told him to rest, but the pain didn't go away. In fact, it got worse. Over the next few months, Gani visited several hospitals in Lagos. One clinic told him his heart was failing. Another warned he might suffer a heart attack if he stayed overnight. So he was confused. He had regular checkups every year, both in Nigeria and in England. No one had ever mentioned cancer. And why would they? Gani didn't smoke. He didn't drink. He lived a disciplined life. But something was clearly wrong. So in June 2007, he noticed that swimming, that is, Gani Fawehinmi loved swimming so much. Something he loved had become painful. Just 30 feet in the pool left him gasping for air. That was the moment he knew this wasn't just pneumonia. This wasn't just his heart. Something deeper was happening. So in July 2007, Gani reached out to his childhood friend, Dr. Mike Fawehinmi, a respected cardiologist. They had known each other since they were 4 years old. So Dr. Fawehinmi asked Gani to come to his clinic at Tafawa Balewa Square. He ordered an X-ray. When the radiologist brought the wet film, Dr. Fawehinmi looked at it and froze. "Gani," he said, "your left lung is bad. Something dangerous is wrong. You must go to London immediately." Gani didn't hesitate. He called his daughter in London and asked her to book an appointment at one of the best hospitals for lung care. So while in London, Gani underwent a series of tests. Machines he had never seen before scanned his body. Doctors examined his lung carefully. The result: his left lung was collapsing. It was soaked. There was a tumor and it was cancer. On August 2nd, 2007, Gani had surgery. The pathologist confirmed what Nigerian doctors had missed for months: lung cancer. He was shocked. He had seen doctors in Nigeria. He had seen doctors in England. No one had caught it earlier. So how could this happen? By the time the cancer was diagnosed, it had already spread. Gani began treatment, but the damage was done. He lost his voice, his face darkened. The powerful drugs took a toll on his body, but even in pain, Gani kept fighting. He continued to speak out against injustice. He continued to inspire. He once said, "Even if I die today, I will die a fulfilled man. I have fought for what I believe in." Gani's story is not just about illness. It's about a broken system. Nigeria's healthcare system failed him. Despite being one of the most respected figures in the country, he couldn't get a proper diagnosis at home. Just imagine. Nigeria, my country. If Gani Fawehinmi, wealthy, educated, and well-connected, could be misdiagnosed, what hope is there for the average Nigerian? What hope is there for me and you? Every year, thousands of Nigerians travel abroad for medical care. They spend millions, but most people can't afford that, They rely on local hospitals, and too often, those hospitals failed them. They failed us. Gani continued to fight his illness for 2 more years. He received treatment in London and returned to Nigeria when he could. But the cancer was relentless. So on September 5, 2009, Gani Fawehinmi passed away. He was 71 years old as at the time. His death was rumored across Nigeria. Tributes poured in from politicians, activists, students, and ordinary citizens. They remember his courage, his voice, his legacy. But many also asked, could this death have been prevented? Only God can answer that. Gani's story teaches us many things. First, it shows the importance of early diagnosis. Cancer is deadly, but if caught early, it can be treated. Second, it highlights the need for better healthcare in Nigeria. Doctors must be trained to look beyond the obvious. Hospitals must be equipped with modern tools. Third, it reminds us that even heroes are human. Gani Fawehinmi was strong, but he was so vulnerable. And finally, it challenges us to continue his fight. Not just in the courtroom, but in every part of the society. Today, Gani Fawehinmi's name still inspires. Law students study his cases, activists quote his speeches. Streets and buildings bear his name. His son, Mohammed Fawehinmi, continued his father's work until his own passing in 2021. The Fawehinmi Library in Lagos stands as a monument to his life. His books, his writing, his vision, they live on. And so does the question, how can we build a Nigeria where no one has to travel abroad to survive? Gani Fawehinmi gave everything to Nigeria. His time, his energy, his health. He fought for justice. He fought for truth. And in the end, he fought for his life. His story is a call to action for doctors, for leaders, for citizens. We must do better. We must build a healthcare system that works. We must honor his legacy, not just with words, but with change. Because Gani didn't just live for himself. He lived for all of us. Thank you for watching. If this story moved you, please like, share, and subscribe. Let us keep Gani's legacy alive. Let's keep fighting for a better Nigeria. Until next time, stay informed, stay inspired, stay strong, and see you in the next video.